Friday, everybody. Welcome to Curiosity Public. Hopefully, you've had a great week, and if you haven't, hopefully, you're going to have a great weekend. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully, you guys can see me and hear me live here, and hopefully, the replay, if you're watching this on the replay, that everything looks wonderful. Got some chats coming in already. If somebody doesn't mind just giving me the thumbs up that this looks all right and sounds all right, that would be awesome. All right. Just making sure the stream is up and running here over on YouTube. Looks like it is. And all right. Cool. We already got a super chat from Roy. Thank you, Roy. Appreciate that. Signet versus Hibiki 21 versus Doers 32 blind. That would be... Wow. That'd be a little tricky, actually, because the Signet's got such a unique chocolatey hit to it. And the Hibiki's got such a delicate flavor. And then the Doers is just so much sherry bomb. So much of a sherry bomb. Yeah, that'd be interesting, though. I don't know. We file away all these ideas, and if and when we get to them, you'll see them. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. We had another comment before the stream started that I can't highlight because Restream doesn't let me do that for chats that come in before we start live. From Hognut58 says, "Hey Dutch, when is your next Matt Madness appearance? We're all in on the Dutch train." I don't know yet. He hasn't announced when the second round of matchups are going to be. So I think there's another first round matchup to go still, and then the second round will start. So we'll see when that happens. I will try to post it on our channel whenever I get the info. All right, Jeff Perkins says, "Cheers to the weekend." Cheers to you as well. Let me know what everybody's sipping on. It'd be good to hear. Timothy B says, "Hello from Cincinnati." Jeff Perkins says, "Sound could be a bit better." Okay, let's make sure I got the right microphone selected here. Yeah, it is. I've been a little unhappy with our live stream sound, but I think with the echo and noise suppression stuff, it's about as good as it's going to get without using headphones. So I do want to keep fixing that, though. I'm going to keep working on that. So I will try to come up with a better solution in the future for sure. All right, JP says, "Good job with your Matt Madness win." Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I got lucky that regular old Buffalo Trace was in there because it's just one that I can pick out. So luck of the draw. Okay, Kyle Walker says, "Excited to catch a live. Where's everybody else?" People will start trickling in, I think. We got, I think, about 23 in here right now. It is a Friday evening. Not always the best time to do a live stream, but it's the timing that worked out for me this week. So hopefully we'll get a few more in here, and I'll get cracking into some pretty cool bottles. And I've also got, at the end of the stream, I've got a couple of sample bottles in here that I grabbed out of the old Whisky Advent calendar that I never finished. And I have no idea what they are. I just grabbed them without looking and stuck them in the bag. So I'll pour one of these a bit later and do a little Matt Madness practice and see how I do on naming what it is. Or at least coming up with some of the characteristics of it, right? Maybe the state and the proof and the age and all that stuff. So I'll do that a little later. All right. Some more comments coming in here. Lito says, "Doing a bit of battle between Knob Creek 12 and Wild Turkey Masters Keep Bottled and Bond 17. I've never had the Bottled and Bond 17. I had the first Masters Keep, which was the original 17. It wasn't Bottled and Bond. It was a lower proof. And I think I might pick the Knob Creek over it, honestly. Oh, hey, look at that. Dylan is in the house. Couldn't show up to the live, but decided to show up in the chat so you guys can pepper him with questions as well. He's sipping on Sam Houston 15 from Florida. All right, Trony is sipping on some OGD 114. Awesome. I just picked up a bottle of that myself because we need to review it, I think. It's such a power hitter, and kind of an unsung hero in a lot of ways. So great choice there. All right, I'm going to go over what I'm going to be doing here tonight with all of you guys. We're going to kick things off, I think. Yes, we're going to kick things off with the Shin. This is Shin Japanese whiskey, aged 10 years, Mizunara oak finish. I don't know a lot about this, but you do see this out there quite a bit, and I have no idea how it is. So, yeah, 10 years old, alcohol content 48%, non-chill filtered, additive free. You know, something to like there. I have no idea where they source their whiskey from or if they distill it themselves. You know, a lot of the Japanese distilleries will source stuff from Canada and Scotland. It looks like they have at least finished this in Japan in some Mizunara oak. But yeah, I don't have a lot of info on it. And I will be doing a quick side-by-side with Yamazaki 12 just to get a comparison. You know, they're about the same price. If you get Yamazaki at kind of the going retail price right now, which is about 120, I think the Shin 10 is around 100. So see how it is when we do that. Then after that, I think I'm going to bust into this behemoth. Oh, man. The Chivas 25. So I'll be cracking into this and opening that bottle up. And then to close things out, I will get into the Larceny Barrel Proof, the C921. So I'm sipping on a little bit of, what is this? This is a Woodford double oaked pick that I think Dylan actually brought this to the set a ways back. And I never realized I never tried it. So I was getting my palate set with that. I always love to set my palate with Woodford, although the double oak I don't think serves exactly the same purpose that I like the regular one in that regard. So, all right, let me catch up on the chat here. Hopefully Dylan's answering everybody's questions. All right, and my phone is blowing up too. Okay, Roy N. sipping on some 1792 full proof. Dylan is trying to tell me to go to Costco because they've got lots and lots of seagrass. Yeah. All right, Hognut is gonna roll with some 2008 Foursquare. Awesome. Good choice there. I'm gonna try to change my screen up over here. Okay. All right, Roy just got a 2018 George T. Stagg at Brea Total Wine. That is awesome. You got in the lottery. So fantastic. I got the sad email yesterday that I did not get selected for anything. That's 2 years in a row now that I've gotten nothing from the Total Wine lotteries. That being said, in the past, I've been pretty lucky. I think I got like a Van Winkle 10 and a William LaRue Weller the 2 preceding years. So I heard from somebody else. Somebody posted this, I think on one of our videos, one of our members, I'm blanking on the name right now, that they also got notified that they got a George T. Stagg, and they were wondering, like, what the heck? Like, how did I get a George T. Stagg? There was no George T. Stagg this year, but it looks like they've found some in the reserves and are handing those out. So that's really cool. All right, Siyama. I guess you're drinking a root beer float. That sounds pretty tasty. Okay, Lito is continuing on his tasting comparison between the Bottled & Bond 17 Wild Turkey and the Knob Creek. Nose goes to the Wild Turkey, palate goes to the Knob Creek. I can see that. That Knob Creek 12, man, that's a tough competitor. All right. All right, Mike is here from Toronto. Welcome. Tori Hanzo in the house. Drinking a Knob Creek 12 and also a Lafroig 10 to end the night. Here is to your solo night. Yes, I am solo tonight. Everybody bailed on me. I was going to go with a storyline that I kicked them both out off the channel for April Fools, but Dylan had to show up in the chat before I could even... Dylan, you're fired. But yeah, that was just dumb. I decided, I also thought maybe I could do some vodka or something for April Fools, but at the end of the day, you guys don't want to see that. You want to see me drink some whiskey and maybe some tequila. So I'll do that instead. But yeah, solo tonight. I'm giving Matt some more material that he can draw from to pull out embarrassing things from my live streams for when I'm on Matt Madness next. That was kind of the goal of this. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I thought it was hilarious. All right, Hattori Hanzo says, in the past 2 years, got an Eagle Rare from the Total Wine Lottery. Yeah, I occasionally will get random emails from them saying, like, oh, yeah, sorry you didn't get anything, but do you want to come in and get a Blanton's? And, I mean, sometimes I do that, but sometimes I just let it go to somebody else. Okay. I've now completed my warm-up palette here with my Woodford. Let me get into something else. Rinse this glass out for my comparison here. Okay, so Shin. Like I said, I don't know a ton about this. It was a gifted bottle here, 10 years old, age statement. Looks kind of cool. I'll open it up here. You guys a close-up of the bottle. Look at that. Product of Japan, 10 years old. A lot of literature on the back here. If you want to read all that, you got to read quickly because it's going to go away. But Shin apparently stands for integrity. I saw that it says there. So hopefully that means it's good whiskey, but it may not. I don't know. I kind of like the bottle shape. It reminds me a little bit of the From the Barrel, the Nika From the Barrel. Kind of similar in that kind of stout, squared off look. Is this a screw top or a... oh, it is a screw top. Okay. That made my life a little easier. And let's get it into here. Look at that. I didn't spill anything. Okay. Let's open up for a second. Checking on the chat here again. Joe F. is drinking some Wild Turkey 101. Good choice. Siyama waited 5 months for Total Wine to tell me I won nothing. Yeah, same boat for me. Roy says, yeah, there was a lot of Blantons everywhere for the Total Wine Lottery. Yeah, they seem to. I mean, I guess they pull all of their Blantons as well for the lotteries. So obviously a lot of that to go around. Let's check out this Shin. See how the nose is. Get a little look there at the dark, nice color, and they say no additives, non-chill filtered. So we know that's not coloring. So okay, the nose is a little not that good. Wow, it's kind of funky. Maybe it's some peat, but there's like no smoke. There's just kind of like an earthiness to the nose. Really no sweetness. There's kind of like almost like a briny, salty kind of briny thing going on. Quite a bit of ethanol. I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe it's just because I haven't nosed that much tonight yet. Only 48%. Wow. Interesting. All right, I'm going to pour myself a little bit of this Yamazaki just so I can do just in comparison. You know, I don't know if the flavor profiles are going to be the same. I just figured, this is kind of the go-to Japanese whiskey for a lot of people. When you think of Japanese whiskey, you think of Yamazaki 12. So let's see. I don't think the flavor profiles are going to be very similar, just based on the nose. So, all right, the nose on this one. This bottle's been open for a while. It smells like soap. I think Jules didn't wash this glass correctly. Yeah, maybe my nose is just broken tonight because I'm not smelling much at all on the Yama. Smelling more on the Shin actually. So I'll let it open up for a minute. Get back into the chat here. There's a couple of other questions come in. Ben H says, "Have you guys reviewed IW Harper 15? Seems like you might have used it in your bottle drop challenge." Sorry for the spoiler. Yeah. We I think reviewed that on the old channel. Bourbon Guild channel. I think we did. But I do like that stuff. It used to be pretty easy to find. It used to just kind of sit around at like $70, $75. Total Wine used to always have it. And, these days it's gotten a little bit harder to find. Sometimes you'll see it marked up closer to 100. It's a lower proof, but good age on it. I wouldn't consider it like a flavor powerhouse, but it's got some pretty good depth to it. And I've always enjoyed it. It's kind of one of my go-to bottles for a gift for people because it's like a good housewarming gift for people that kind of like whiskey but aren't crazy about it. So, but yeah, it'd be good to do a proper review. All right, Dark Meat Chicken is here. What's up? All right, Roy N wants to give us a 15-year Shibui. Let me know if you were ever in OC. Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta figure out a time to grab that from you. We'll talk to Jules. Is the one that seems to be up there more often, but we never know where he is. Okay, let me go back into the nose of the Yamazaki, see if I can smell anything now. Okay, it's coming through now. Wow, it's just a completely different flavor profile, so I don't think these are going to be close on the palate either, but let's go in. This is the Shin 10-year Mizunara Oak finish. There's a lot of pepper, like black pepper. Wow, really peppery. Not a ton of sweetness. Bit of grain in there. Wow. If you like black pepper, this is a whiskey for you. Oh my gosh. This could really stand up to some steak. Wow, it's just all pepper. It's like if you had a piece of chicken and you just seasoned it with way too much black pepper. It's like it doesn't matter what you marinated it in. You can tell maybe there's something underneath all that, but all you get it with is just like this freshly ground black pepper. That is, I have not had a whiskey that tastes like that before. That's pretty unique. Got to give it points there, and maybe it would benefit from opening up. I'll let it sit here a little while longer, and we'll see. But now let me go into the Yamazaki. Again, just for comparison's sake, since the Yamazaki is kind of the one of the go-to Japanese whiskeys for a lot of people. The nose is getting better progressively on the Yamazaki. I mean, there's more sweetness here. None of that black pepper. There's some depth here. It's a good. I mean, I enjoy Yamazaki. It's not necessarily something I would go spend a ton of money on, but at the current MSRP or the current retail price, around 120, I like to have a bottle on hand just because I like to have it around. I just drank some of this last week, actually on our last live stream. Jules and I were sipping on it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Woodford I had earlier, but it just tastes completely different to me today. I don't know if this bottle kind of got kicked or something. I don't know how it would, but yeah, it just tastes different to me. I don't know. Maybe the Shin is just blowing my palate out from all that pepper. But yeah, it does taste different to me. I mean, I know this flavor pretty well. Wow. Still better. I would definitely pick the Yamazaki over the Shin. The Shin is, I mean, maybe if I was having a steak, this would be really good with it. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where it fits in. All right. Catch up on the chat here a little bit. Yes, we want freedom. It is making my eyes water. Yeah, it's a lot of pepper. I'm surprised I didn't sneeze from it. All right, Kyle Walker says, would you pay $120 for the Yamazaki 12? That's what I see it for in Florida. Yeah, that's pretty much what we see it for in California as well. I know I like it a decent amount, and like I said, I like to have one on hand. So if I see it at the one, sometimes I'll see it for like 110, 115. I'll pick one up because I do like it. If you've never had it, I might try it first. Especially if you're coming from maybe like bourbon and scotch. It's a little different. If you're into like Speyside Scotch, it might kind of be a good transition there. So if you've had it, I do think 120 is a decent price. It used to be, I think the cheapest I ever got it for was like 65, $68. So it's kind of doubled in price. So that sucks, but it's kind of just the way things are these days. Okay, let's keep going here. Yeah, Siyama says Yamazaki is a killer name. It is. It's a good name for a whiskey. Okay, 124.95, 125 in I guess that's North Carolina. Believe in peace. What's up? Drinking Glenmorangie Quinto Raban. Nice choice. All right, I'm going to give this Shin 10-year another sip here before moving on. It's had a decent amount of time to open up. Man, I love the color on it. It's decent viscosity. The mouthfeel's not bad. It's just so punchy. Such a peppery palate. Okay, it's a little bit less intense, but that kind of sour thing I was getting on the nose, now that's coming out on the palate a little bit more. I'm intrigued by this. I want to let it sit a little while and see if it continues to open up. So I'm going to let this glass sit, put a little sticker on it so I know what it is, and move on to what's next. So that's my Shin, and I will put it next to my Yamazaki for another comparison a little later. That pepper, it's really lingering on my palate. Oh man, I really gotta cleanse my palate here. All right. 43 people here right now. Thank you guys for hanging out on a Friday evening. I really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. If you're watching the replay of this, hit the thumbs up button as well. That would be very nice of you. Drop a comment as well if you're watching the replay of it. Love to hear what you think. Believe in Peace asking, did they finish the Shin with Mizunara? Yes, this is the Mizunara cask finish, as you can see there. Mizunara right there. So, I mean, I love this bottle. I mean, I think the price point, based on what I'm tasting right now, a little steep. I would like to see this kind of closer to like the $50 to $60 range, quite frankly. I don't think it's better than the Yamazaki or the Kushu stuff. So, I'll give it another taste, though, see if it opens up at all. All right. So, got to cleanse my palate a little bit more here. All right, Luke. Whoa, tonight is the Dutch show. Yes, everybody ditched me. They pulled an April Fool's on me. They were like, "Yeah, we'll be there." They didn't show up. So just me. But I'm cracking into some cool stuff, so maybe that'll make up for it. Next up, guys, this beast of a box, Chivas 25. Look at that, 40%. The bottle is inside here. I don't want to drop this. There's a little like button here you press, and then the front door opens. The front door opens. The case opens. Oh, almost dropped it. Look at that. And you got a little booklet here with some info, and beautiful looking bottle there. I am going to put this down so I don't drop it while getting it out of here. So yeah, we are kind of slowly acquiring some bottles for a 25-year-old blind challenge for Scotch, similar to our 18 and 21s that we did. And we're kind of just picking them up as they come, and then hopefully we'll have some that fit well together, because if we have, for instance, a heavily peated one, heavily smoky one, or a very smoky one, and a bunch of Speysides or a bunch of sherry bombs, it's not really that interesting of a blind. So I think we're going to try to find ones that are maybe we'll do a series of blends first and then do some single malts. I don't know. We haven't figured it out, but we're slowly acquiring some. Presentation on this bottle is really pretty nice. It's different than the Royal Salute, the 21 year. Look at that. back, you got bottle number, rare and limited blend. Very cool looking bottle. Now this bottle will run you close to 400. I think we got like 389. I think, and I had a pretty hefty coupon, so I think I got it down close to 300, which is I think about as cheap as you can get it for. I don't know if you guys have found it for cheaper. Let me know, and I will try to figure out how to open the plastic because it's like very tightly sealed. It seems there's nowhere to start undoing it. How the heck do I open this bottle? I need a knife. I will continue with my inner monologue, except saying it out loud. All right, I see a perforation. Maybe I can get into this. It's not working. I need a knife. Oh, I have a knife. Look at that. Classy, right? Everybody's got their fancy knives. You know what works great? Box cutter. Okay, here we go. Finally. Get that out of here. And even the right there, look at that. It's so damn nice. Oh, it's metal. It's very hefty. I mean, this is like metal something. I don't know. Okay. Glass would be good. And let's get some of this wonderful stuff poured. All right, I'm excited to try this. I wanted to kind of have these bottles up like in shot, but I'm playing around with a different angle and a different lens, and I'd have to like get something really tall to be able to have the thing sit on it. Maybe this would work. Then I'm afraid I'm going to knock the bottle off, so I don't want to do that either. Let's see. This being the shot. Oh, I'm totally going to knock that over. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. All right. Well, it's 25 years old. I'd like to give it the time it probably deserves to open up, but I will do a little initial nosing and then get back into the chat here. Pretty mellow on the nose. There's a good sweetness in there. It's a darker fruit that's been thinned out a bit. I like that nose a lot. All right, I'm going to let it sit for a second, check in on the chat here. All right. Where am I? All right, Carl Dune. Done? Done. I can't read. Chivas Regal 25 and King George are my go-to favorites. Love that King George. We've got a cool video coming out, who knows when, but we filmed it a few weeks back. We did a blind of a bunch of the premium Johnny Walkers. It's going to be a fun one to watch because King George is in that, and we did a blind. So stay tuned for that. Believe in Peace says, I found that King George has a bit of peat hit towards the finish. Would you choose one of those over the other? The Chivas versus the King George. I mean, the King George is usually going to be a little bit more expensive. So I don't know. I got to try this one and see. But we compared the King George to, what did we have in there? We had Ghost and Rare, the Pitivac, the most recent one. We had regular Blue Label. And then we had two others. And I'm blanking right now what we did. I know one of them. I think we had Johnny Walker Gold. And then did we put the 18? I don't remember. We put one more in there. Yeah, it was a very fun blind. Okay, we want Freedom says the 25-year-old Glen Scotia is still a good price, I think. I have to check that one out. All right. Lito says, I've seen the Chivas 25 around, a little hesitant to pull the trigger. It is pricey. I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on a bottle. Bottle drop test on the live stream, yeah. Maybe inadvertently, but luckily I was okay there. All right. Aaron says, "Hey, what's the story with Tim and Eric behind you?" This is a book, actually, that somebody gave me, and I just threw it up there. This is Tim and Eric's Zone Theory. I'd show you some pages in here, but I don't want to get this video banned because some of them are grossly inappropriate. But there's all kinds of interesting things in here, like that, and like knuckle implant chips. Jim's. Sorry, I'm not going to read that out loud. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of random stuff. It's very. I mean, if you like anything Tim and Eric related, it's pretty absurd, like all their stuff. So it just sits back there because it's not really a book you sit down and read, but it's kind of funny back there, I think. All right, Hattori Hanzo says, if you got it, try an Old Weller Antique to compare with the Larceny Barrel Proof. That could be interesting. I know we do have one in here, so maybe I will do that when I get to the Larceny. I got to run to the other room and grab it, so I'll do that in a minute. I don't think we have one up here. But yeah, that'd be a fun one to compare. All right. Ghost and Rare, yes. Ghost and Rare is limited edition Johnny Walker. So the idea is that they had stock from the old closed distilleries, and they mixed those into the blend. And it's supposed to be, I mean, originally I think it was supposed to be reminiscent of the older style Blue Label. Maybe if you go back like 10, 20 years, the Blue Label had some very old aged stuff in it. And when they changed it up, maybe, like I said, about 10, 15 years ago, a lot of people said it got worse. And the Ghost and Rare was kind of, I think the original idea was to do a blend that was more similar to the old style Blue Label. Okay. Luke Woe says, do you ever find yourself helping people trying to buy gifts at the liquor store for friends and family, and you give them better advice after the store clerk walks away? I did this yesterday. Yeah, it does happen. It's happened. It's happened a couple times. If you're in the whiskey aisle, a lot of people will come up and ask you questions about things. So it happens. I know it seems to happen to Dylan a lot, but I think he actually secretly goes into Total Wine and pretends to work there just to mess with people, maybe, or just to help people, I guess. Okay. What's this? So Siama says, so speaking of expensive whiskey, local store near me has a Tobias and the Angel from Compass Box for $500. Anyone tried it? I have never tried it. I've tried some of the Compass Box stuff. I generally have liked what I've tried, but I have not done any kind of a deep dive into it, so I haven't tried that. So, all right. Okay, this Chivas 25 has been sitting long enough. It's time to dig into it. Let's see how the nose has evolved here. Oh wow, that's there's a nice balance to this nose. There's a little bit of brininess in there, good amount of sweetness. There's a touch of grain. The way the barley kind of comes across. It's really enjoyable. It's not particularly intense. Almost kind of like a Glenlivet nose in some ways, with a little bit less fruit, a little more grain maybe, but well balanced. I like this. Does it smell like a $300 nose? I don't know. It's good. It's fine. But let's see how the palate is here. Wow, there's waves of flavor. There's a fair amount of grain, but like a sweet grain. the balance is really nice on this, and the mouth feels really nice. The initial hit, it just kind of coats your tongue, almost like with a syrup. But the finish is pretty short so far. So let me give it another taste here. Let's see how it is on the second sip. Finishes a little better. Wow, what is this flavor? It's kind of like a grain hit, but it's different. I don't know how to describe this. And it's not quite like an earthiness. It's kind of like if you took some earthiness and graininess and balanced it out with some sweetness, so that it all kind of comes together in this core of really nicely balanced flavors. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble describing it. There's not particular fruits that come out. It's really an interesting core flavor here. I quite enjoy this, actually. I'm going to let the rest of this sit because I think it might get better. Let me jot down what I got here. Chivas. But this would be interesting. I mean, I think when you get to this age of Scotch, I think you're kind of, in some ways, paying for the mouthfeel. I don't know. For some reason, that's been one of the consistent things in some of the more expensive Scotch that I've had is the mouthfeel and the finish, but mostly the mouthfeel. The way it kind of coats the palate and how deep the flavor is. You know, sometimes you'll just kind of get these thin flavors coming through. But with older Scotches, more expensive Scotches, or Scotches that have old stuff blended in, I mean, there's like more bandwidth, right? There's not necessarily more flavors, but there's just more depth to the flavor. It's like you're hitting a single note and you're just kind of playing, octaves of the same note all at the same time. So it's the same flavor, but it's just deeper and richer in some ways. So tough to explain that one, but very much enjoy that. Would I spend $300 on a bottle? Well, it was a fresh crack, so I would have to come back to this anyway. It didn't let me down. I don't feel let down. I don't know that I would recommend it if you're looking to spend $300 on a bottle of Scotch. But that could change again if I try it again after it's been open up for a while. So let me get to the chat here. Timothy B says, "What's your budget for spirits?" I'm impressed. We throw a lot of money at spirits for the show, and that's pretty much it. Would I bought this if I didn't have a YouTube channel? Probably not. But the part of what helps from the ads playing on YouTube and people that join Curiosity Public or join Curiosity Private or our Patreon is it helps us be able to afford to get these things and try them and share that with you guys. So, tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right? Okay, Lito says, when it comes to premium old age blended Scotch, my baseline is a Dewar's 32, specifically now that I know a blended can be that great. Yeah, obviously you probably know how we feel about that particular bottle. I think it's fantastic. I've always enjoyed a lot of the Johnny Walker stuff. Once you get past like the black label, and quite frankly, I think you get some decent blended Scotch in there. So, yeah, I enjoy a good blended Scotch. The Compass Box, that's another example there of artfully blended Scotch that can be pretty awesome. I Believe in Peace says, I've enjoyed a couple of Compass Box whiskeys, but I haven't tried some of their more expensive ones yet. Yeah, I was actually at a liquor store the other day, and I had one of their, I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the limited release ones, and I was contemplating it, but I kind of just put it off for another time. Maybe if we end up doing a Compass Box straight through, we'll grab whatever's on the market at the time. All right. Siyama, I'd hate to be the salesperson who recommends Seagrass when Dylan is there. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. I Believe in Peace asking if we can get a Mars drink through. I believe you covered Suntory and Nika. I'm curious how you would review their blending. Yeah, I want to try some of it. I've had a pour of something from there. I haven't owned a lot of other Japanese whiskey aside from the big houses. The Shin here is one of the few that I've owned outside of Nika and Centauri stuff. We did do a review of, what was that other brand that was sourcing stuff? Blanking on the name, Kaio. We did review a Kaio product that I believe was sourced from Yamazaki, or from Centauri, and then they shipped the barrels to England for bottling. So I don't think they officially called it a Japanese whiskey, but it was sourced from Japan, and it was okay. That one actually really did taste to me like Yamazaki. I had it side by side with Yamazaki 12. This was, I think, the Mizunara finish Kaio, and I mean it maybe not quite as good, but a decent substitute. But price point is pretty high on that one. I think the Mizunara one was close to like 70. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff there to explore. I mean, and there's a lot of random brands of Japanese whiskey out there that would be kind of fun to taste through and maybe give everybody some guidance on, because I don't know a lot of people that spend their time reviewing all those. So maybe that should be us. I don't know. Okay, so getting to the next bottle here in a second. This is Larceny, the C921. Look at that. 61.3% alcohol, 122.6 proof. C921. So this was the end of 2021. This one was released. It hit California. I got this maybe like 3 weeks ago or something like that. It's weird. Sometimes the releases from Heaven Hill come out here almost immediately, and then other times I feel like it's months, like 6 months sometimes before they hit the West Coast. Now, somebody recommended, who was it? Somebody recommended trying this with Old Weller Antique side by side. I'm going to scroll up and try to find who that was. I don't know who it was. But if you're in here still, claim your rights to that comment. All right, I'm going to run to the other room real quick, grab a bottle of Antique. I think we have one. I know we've at least got a barrel pick, so if it's not a regular Weller Antique, it might be a barrel pick, but I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Success. Do have a bottle. All right, I need to get some glasses here. Need to finish one of these. This is the Yamazaki from before. I'm going to go back into the Shin. Well, I feel like I'm going to screw my palate up if I drink that Shin again. So let me just go grab a fresh glass. All right. Fresh crack here, again, of the Larceny. So I'm comparing it. I'll do a little bit of a side-by-side here to the 107, which has been open for a long time. It's even one of the old screw cap bottles there of Weller. I think it's the one that we used in our Weller barrel pick versus non-barrel pick blinds that we did way back when. Okay, and there's the bottle of Larceny. Okay. I can't remember the last one of these I had. I don't know. I know I've tried one of the past ones, but I don't have any strong recollection of it. In general, when I've had Larceny, I always think it's kind of Sometimes I get a lot of good sweetness, and sometimes I just get a ton of the frunk, the wheater frunk that we talk about. So I don't know. I'll see how this one is, and I'll pour a little bit of the 107 in here in the second glass, just for science. No other reason. And I'm going to label these so I can remember what's what. Don't mix them up. Actually, I'll just put a sticker on the Larceny, so I know that's my Larceny. Okay. Let's see how the nose is on this Larceny Barrel Pick C921. Like I said, I can't remember the last time I had one of these. I think we have another one here somewhere. I think Dylan brought another one at one point. Yeah, a lot of good cinnamon. Fair amount of baking spice in there. Good amount of sweetness. Little touch of earthiness. A little bit of ethanol. Again, a fresh crack. This could probably open up a bit. Pretty enjoyable nose. Let's see how the Weller 107 is on the nose here. More sweetness on the Weller. It's a little less intense. The Larceny Barrel Proof really is throwing a lot of stuff out there. Again, higher proof, 122 versus 107. So maybe a little bit better balance on the Weller. Less earthy. And the sweetness dominates the baking spice. It's there. It accentuates the sweetness in the Weller, but it's there's a lot more spice going on in the Larceny. Okay, now the frunk is coming through even more. But the sweetness really kind of rounds it out nicely. It's not offensive. Good amount of sweetness. Yeah, good amount of sweetness, good amount of spice. Okay. Let's go into the palate. Larceny C921. There's some heat here. Not a ton of earthiness on the. No, there's earthiness, but not that funky earthiness. Good amount of sweetness, good amount of spice. Finishes a little quick. Let me give it another sip here. Good amount of spice. I mean, there's just a lot of everything. It's a little chaotic in some ways. It's like here's a big hit of spice. There's a big hit of sweetness. Here's a hit of earthiness. Are they balanced? They're just they're a little bit chaotic when it all comes at you like that. But the finish has got a nice sweetness to it with a little bit of that frunk, that earthiness, that kind of funky mushroom kind of something's gone bad taste. It's not quite bad, but it's just kind of a little bit off for some reason. Yeah, I could sip on that. I like that. I think a small piece of ice in a glass of this Larceny Barrel Proof, and I'd probably enjoy the heck out of it. All right, let me compare it now to the old standby, King of the Wheaters, or many people's King of the Wheaters, the Weller 107 here. Wow, after the proof hit of the Larceny, the Weller is subdued. I mean, I think that's a question of proof. Maybe a full proof, but even a full proof is not going to be as high proof as the Larceny. So the proof is really throwing off the comparison for me. Flavor wise, I would say the Weller's a little bit better balanced to me. It's got a good amount of sweetness, a good amount of spice. I get that cinnamon and that caramel with Weller 107 a lot of the times. And a lot of that I like from the 107 is being overshadowed right now by the proof and just how punchy all the flavors are in the Larceny. So, between these two, as they stand, I'm going to go back to the Larceny. But again, I think that's mostly the proof. It's just kind of blowing the Weller out. It's just 107 versus 122 point. What is it? 122.6 at the Larceny. Yeah. Wow. Give this Larceny another sip here. Yeah, there's still a distinct frunk in the middle of this thing, but it really works. It's almost, oh man, this one's like almost got like a marshmallow thing going on. I'm not giving good notes today. Yeah, there's cinnamon. There's like a cinnamon marshmallow with a slight, like it's like you kind of dropped that marshmallow in the dirt, brushed most of it off, and then glazed it or dipped it in caramel, and put some cinnamon on it and some other kind of Christmassy spices. And it kind of works, but that little bit of dirt is in there, but it's okay. It kind of it's everything else covers it up just perfectly. Yeah, interesting. The biggest difference I would say between the Larceny and the Weller is that frunk, is that earthiness that comes through really much more clearly on the Larceny. I mean, Weller almost never has it. If you've ever tried the weeded mash bill, White Dog that Buffalo Trace sells, you will get the frunk in that. Like, you will understand what we're talking about when we say that. There's that earthiness that comes through from the wheat in the distillate, and hard flavor to describe. I see a bunch of comments. Let me catch up here, guys. Sorry, I got off in a land of weeders, and it was a fun journey. But now I've got to come back to reality and respond. Sorry about that. Okay, scrolling back up here, we got some questions. Trony says, "What would you recommend to try for a Mizunara finished whiskey?" I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think a lot of the Yamazakis there is some Mizunara oak, at least in the blend, somewhere along the line. And I don't know. Somebody in the chat might have more insight into this for you. I only get a very subtle influence of the Mizunara to me. I don't know that I could tell you exactly what it imparts. Whereas with like French oak, American oak, it's a little clearer in my head. But yeah, I don't know. I would say you can find things out there that say Mizunara oak on them, like the Kayo that I mentioned. But I don't know. Okay. Believe in Peace says, "You reminded me, I believe that there is a Chivas Regal Mizunara finish out there." Yeah, there may be. Yeah, there are a lot of people that like to use the Mizunara oak. It's prized, I think, in part because it's like a very hard oak, and it's a very hard oak to work with. And it apparently takes a lot of time to make the barrels. And I guess it imparts a fairly unique finish, a fairly unique flavor to the whiskey. But I don't know that it's a particularly huge flavor. I just don't know enough to tell you. Sorry. All right, Troy is sipping on a barrel proof blend that he made. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A119 and Foursquare 2009. Wow, how the heck is that? What does it taste like? Give us some notes. That sounds interesting. All right, Moose76 says, "Who likes the frunk?" We love to talk about the frunk. Okay, Jeff Perkins says C920 is much better than the previous releases. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think I had one from 2019 first, and I kind of remember it not being particularly good. Not a lot of sweetness coming through. It just kind of something tasted off about it, and I never really spent a lot of time honing it down after that. But this is pretty good. I mean, I would come back to this one, the C921. I like it. Moose76 says, most B's and C's have not found an A I like yet. Now, does that mean for both the Elijah Craig and the Larceny? Or for both? Curious to know. Kyle says, never liked the standard Larceny. I might have to pick up the barrel proof to try it. Yeah, I wouldn't overpay for this. You know, sometimes you see it like over $100. I can't remember what I got this for. I could look it up. I think it was right at retail, which is something like $70. It's like Elijah Craig price, I think. I think that's how much I paid, 75 maybe. Oh, Cheech is in the house. Thank you, Cheech, for showing up. Appreciate you being here. Tori Hanzo, is that Frunk you guys described just the dusty peanut smell? I got some Frunk on a local Rebel store pick that is off-putting. Yeah, some of the Rebel weeders, you can get that in, definitely. It's, I don't know, when you say peanut, I always think, no, that's what I get from Jim Beam stuff, personally. It's not a nuttiness. It's really to me, it's like a dirt, like the dirt you'd scrape off of a mushroom. So it's like the kind of mushroom you eat for food, not any other kind of mushroom. Like it's like you scrape that dirt off, and it's not like you eat the mushroom and it has some dirt on it still, and you're like, oh, this is a tasty mushroom, but it kind of tastes a little bit of dirt, but it's not overpowering necessarily. So I don't know. That's where my head goes with describing it. Dylan's in the chat. Maybe he can try to explain it better than I have. I'm doing bad with the words tonight, guys. It's Friday. My brain is fried. YW says Larceny Barrel Proof can have a nice Snickers note. Yeah, I can see that. You know, there's some caramel going on here. I don't know. I don't know that I describe that as a peanut, but maybe it's almost more like a peanut butter. I don't know. Not like a dry roasted peanut, but like a peanut butter and caramel kind of thing. It's like a Snickers, right? Okay. All right. Dr. Drushka, is that right? Says, out of the 4 releases of Larceny Barrel Proof, I have C921 is probably the best. Okay, good. So, I mean, that's good information to have. If you're looking for this, just because I'm drinking C921 and you find another one, it may not be quite as good. I know there can be batch variability on these Heaven Hill releases. And YW is drinking a Dovetail. Very nice choice. Oh, Cheech reminding me to remind you guys to hit the thumbs up if you care about us. And actually, even if you don't care about us, you could just do a good deed for the day and hit the thumbs up button. You know, it'll make you feel better, I promise. All right, Jason is here. Jason says, what's happening, guys? Haven't seen you since the Bourbon Guild days. Hope you've been doing well. We have been doing well. And thanks for stopping by. Yes, please check out the channel. We started it, gosh, it's been almost 2 years ago now. You know, I always have to add like a year and a half to everything I think about now because of, you know, how crazy the past couple years have been. But yes, we are here. We've been making videos, and don't forget that Ben has a channel as well, Ben Richards. You can check him out at Butcher Block. If you search for Butcher Block Whiskey, he'll come up. So we are all back on the YouTubes. Okay. Kyle wants to know if Frunk is the same as funk. I mean, maybe to some people, but you know, when we have a weeder that has that weeder funk, we just call it the Frunk, and that's just how we refer to it. But yes, it's weeder funk is kind of the more appropriate term. Yes, believe in peace, says in a Homer voice, dirty marshmallow. Exactly. Okay, Tori Hanzo gets a chocolate milk or a sweet coffee finish on the C921. I don't know. I mean, to me, the cinnamon and the caramel really come through. And like I said, those are the things I really love in Waller 107 typically. There's other stuff in this. But to me, those are the more predominant flavors that I get. I kind of see what people are saying now about the peanut. And I don't know if you guys just have been saying that and it's crept into my unconscious mind here, but I kind of see what you guys are saying about that now. All right, Samuel Beach says, funnily enough, it's a fun word, funnily. I like that. Funnily enough, I poured a Weller Foolproof Larceny B520 and Larceny A121 tonight to blind, and then joined right as you were tasting. Fantastic. I think you're onto something with the Weller Foolproof. The regular Weller 107 here that I'm comparing it with is it's not really standing up to it, and it's. I said this earlier. I really do think it's the proof. It just doesn't have enough proof. It's just getting kind of washed out because it just tastes like nothing. No, it tastes like something, but I can tell that it tastes different after the Larceny because I've had this exact bottle before. So, all right, moving on. I'm going to try to. Okay, Samuel says the Weller definitely won with Larceny's close to a tie. Okay, great, good info to have there. I do love that Weller Foolproof. I do think it's really tasty. Not necessarily worth the crazy prices, but it's really good. Dylan is answering questions. I'm not going to read that. Okay. Cheech, thank you for promoting our t-shirts. I got one of them on here. This is we call it the Word Game shirt. Word Game. Because if I said another word for Word Game, they'd probably take the shirt down. That's okay. Okay, funny, Jason says. All I get off my local Rebel pick is raw ethanol and sour oak. It's awful. Yeah, I had one recently, and it just did not do anything for me. It was all like just fire. It was just tasted like burning, literally, to keep the Simpsons stuff going here. It didn't have anything. It just was like some pepper and somebody lit some pepper on fire. That's what it tasted like. Okay. Cohen is here. Thank you for hanging out. K&L has Evan Williams bottled and bond on sale for $10.99. Bought two because of the price. Good price. And Jason does not like that, though. He would not drink Evan Williams bottled and bond if you paid him $11 a bottle. Hey, it's not for everybody. I will agree with that. All right, Roy's figured it all out. Figured out how to watch you while attending my Zoom work meeting. Switched to Redbreast 12 cask. Good. Just make sure you mute at the appropriate times, because if I'm saying what I'm saying on here and it bleeds over to your work meeting, it's not going to be good. All right. I am going to try to catch up here a bit. I think I'm mostly caught up. Jason said, sounds like we have similar barrels. Yeah, I don't remember where I had it. I was actually in a liquor store, and they had it, and they just, the owner just let me try it because I had an open bottle, and I took a sip, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to pass. And just didn't work. It would have been a great mixer for sure, but I don't know that I'd spend that much on a mixer. Okay. Oh, look at this. The Whiskey Reaper showed up. All right. Cheers, everyone. Make sure you check out the Whiskey Reaper's YouTube channel as well. There's some cool stuff there. It's fun. Like going out to liquor stores, right? And hunting for whiskey. It's fun stuff to watch. Okay, we got some comments here that got blocked. I got to switch over to my YouTube window here, and I will allow those comments through. I don't know why they got blocked. There we go. Those are not inappropriate comments. So now they will be seen by everybody, and you won't even know which one I'm talking about unless they showed up immediately here. I don't know. All right. Flight Me Bro asks, Castle and Key anytime soon? No, not soon. If we ever can get a bottle in our hands, we would be happy to review it, but I don't know when it's going to come out to the West Coast here. But yeah, sounds interesting. Don't know much about it, but always excited when there's new brands putting new stuff out, or old brands putting new stuff out. In the case of Castle and Key, right? Okay, I'm going to give this Larceny Barrel Proof here, the C921, one more taste here before I move on to to a quick little blind that I'm going to do. This is really enjoyable. I mean, the frunk is going more and more into the background, and it's getting better as I'm going. Yeah, it's it tastes like a Weller, but it's got that extra thing in it. It's got that funk, and I don't think the funk necessarily makes it better, makes it different. And I think overall, I would still say I'm a little bit more partial to Weller 107. But again, side by side, it is blown out. Like, it's just not as good. It's still really good, but it's not. It just can't stand up to the proof here in this case. But good comparison. Thank you to whoever recommended that. Was that Hattori Hanzo? I can't remember now. I'm sorry. Too many things going on. I got too many bottles over here, and too many things on the computer screen, and too many thoughts going around in my brain. I can't keep anything straight. But what I do need to do is practice a little bit, because I'm still in Matt Madness somehow. I don't know if you guys know what's going on with Matt Madness, but it's ADHD Whiskey does his amazing competition between all the YouTube channels out there that do whiskey stuff. And somehow Curiosity Public was nominated, I guess, by his Patreon to get a spot on his wheel. And the wheel landed on us, and only once, so only one of us was allowed to come. And I was nominated by the other guys because they didn't want to do it. And I somehow made it out of the first round. I had some stiff competition. I got a lucky pick because he poured Buffalo Trace as one of the picks, and I was able to identify the bottle, which gave me enough points to win that round and get out of the first round. And I'm going to be at some point in the future, I think probably next month sometime, I'm guessing, or maybe later this month. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think he's only doing one show a week. He was doing double headers, but I don't think he's going to be doing that anymore. And I just don't know when it's going to get scheduled. So I will keep you guys posted. And because I didn't do a lot of preparation, which is par for the course for us. But what I have here is I've got some little mini bottles of stuff from an advent calendar that I didn't finish. We did a live back in December. Jules and I started going. We got through maybe half of the advent calendar, and we never did the second part of that. So I've got the stuff here, and I figured I'll just grab one. I just grabbed two out without looking. I just kind of went like this, stuck them in a bag, and I'll grab one of them and pour it, and try to do some figuring out of what it might be. So, in my hand here, I'm covering it up so I can't see what it is. I'm going to open it. I'm going to pour it. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to close it. I need to put it somewhere I can't see it. I'll put it here inside the box that the Shin came in. So here, it's going to go in here. Okay, so that's sitting there for me to reveal a little bit later. I have no confidence in my ability to do blinds. I've done enough of them, and you guys have maybe seen enough of them that I've done. And, every once in a while I can pick something out. But with most of our blinds, I know the choices. In this situation, I don't even know what the choices are. Like, I've got to go off of my memory. And over the years, I've tried so many different things, I can't keep it all straight. I really can't keep it all straight. But these are my notes, actually, from the last Matt Madness. I figured I might need to write down some notes, so I got this here. I'm going to let this open up for a second before I go into it. But just, off the color, I would say that whatever this is has a little bit of age on it. It might have a little bit of age. It might indeed. Not leaving any impressive looking legs. Just kind of goes right down the glass. So I'm going to let that sit for another second. Let me see if I missed anything in the chat here. Okay. Yeah, Jeff says nice work in round one. Thank you. Like I said, got lucky. Do a blind. Andrew says, do a blind of the Old Forester Whiskey Row series. That'd be interesting. I think we did. Oh, we did do the drink through. Um, we had them sequentially right after each other, and it'd be interesting to do that blind. I could see the value in that, but based on the drink through, I think we all agreed that it was really the 1910 and the 1920 that were the clear standouts. You got a pretty big proof difference there with some of the other stuff, so I don't know. I don't know how it would work with a blind, but wouldn't be a bad one to do. That's for sure. All right. Carnage Report says, did you guys get Elijah Craig's Barrel Proof A122 yet? Looking forward to your thoughts. No, I do not have it. I don't know. Dylan, if Dylan is still in the chat, maybe he can answer if he's got it yet. I don't think he has it. He might. I don't know if it's hit the West Coast yet, honestly. Like I said, sometimes they come really late here. But there's been certain releases. I think it was maybe the C920 came out almost immediately here, or one of them. But a lot of the times it might take a few months. So haven't seen it yet. Okay. Yes, Jeff Perkins says you've been training for many, many years. Yes. But unfortunately, all that means is I'm just more confused now. That's all that happens. Tori Hanzo says, maybe it was your poker face, but when that guy was incoherently talking junk to you, I could actually see your soul die a little. I don't know what was going on, man. I heard from multiple people that I looked pissed off the whole time. I totally wasn't. I mean, I think I just was trying to get my head in the game, and I was kind of ignoring everything else. And I don't know. Whatever. We'll let Grizz. We'll let him have his fun. Brent, greetings and salutations, folks. Well, right back at you, Brent. Thank you for coming to hang out. Appreciate it. Roy Hen says, high age right there. Kylie meant 15 with my blind here. Oh. I mean, I don't think that's 15 years old. I mean, the way that it just goes right down the glass. I don't actually think there's a ton of age on this. Look at that. Not a lot of viscosity. Siyama says, so for your blinds, if they allow you, you should do the bubble size test to determine proof via Whiskey Mystery. I'll have to look that up. I don't actually know what that is. That sounds interesting. Bubble size test. Is that you agitate it and you see how big the bubble is, bubbles that form? I totally would spill it and that would suck. Or maybe when I pour it from the sample bottle. Well, according to Matt, there are no rules for what we can do. You can have comparison glasses and everything. Okay, so there's some bubbles there. They're pretty big. I don't know if you can see. But the bubbles are pretty big. So what does that tell me about the proof? Let me know in the comments so I can get this one right. Okay, let me keep going here. Kyle Walker's got the 1910 in a glass with a Rocky Patel. All right, man, enjoy that. 1910 might be my favorite of the Whiskey Row, personally. And Timothy B with the super sticker. Unfortunately, I can't put the super stickers up on the screen. In Restream, it doesn't show them. It just says super sticker, and it says the name of the super sticker, which is Pear Character, lifting some weight, saying keep it up. So I can see it on the YouTube stream, and all you guys can probably see it on the YouTube stream, but I can't highlight it, unfortunately. But thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot. It means that we can keep doing stupid stuff like this. Peter White says, has anyone tried the Bowmore 21 Bowmore? I don't know how you're supposed to say it. 21 Aston Martin, or did it go directly to secondary? I have not seen it. I saw somebody post something from a duty free where I think they had it. So I think I might be confusing it with another limited edition that was with a car, but I think it was that one. Mitchell says, rooting for you and Matt Madness. You guys have the best whiskey channel on YouTube. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That is super nice. So CM, clarifying here, yes, different alcohol levels have different bubble size and they fizzle off at different rates. So this one still has one big bubble right there. So come on, give me the answer. What's the proof? Okay, so yeah, that's it. More bubbles, and the longer they last, the higher the proof. Okay, good to know. The funny, I'm actually, of all the things that I can do with my tastings, I'm not bad at proof. I mean, I've done a few of these complete blinds just to test that, and I'm actually pretty good with proof. I can usually get it within 5. It's everything else that I suck at. So if there's proof questions, I usually feel pretty good about them. Believe in peace. Thank you for the super chat. Dutch, one man band. Thanks for the live stream tonight. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out. Really appreciate it. Siyama says, yeah, shake it in the sample bottle. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. That's cool. We shouldn't have done this on a live stream. Now everybody knows. Okay. Bow, like the archery weapon. Okay, Bowmore. I think that's how I normally say it. I don't know why I was saying Balmore. Bowmore sounds right to me as well. I don't. Very easy to evaluate once you get used to it. Have a sample 800, 120 to compare. Yeah, I'll have to try that. That's pretty cool. Actually, let's see. I've got my, I don't have much of my Larceny left. Well, here's my Weller 107. I'll give it some agitation. A lot of agitation, try to get some bubbles. And I'll do the Chivas, which doesn't have enough. Let me do the Shin. Ah, wow. Definitely bigger bubble, and it's still there in the Weller and the Shin. They're all gone already. You guys are geniuses. This is why I need to do more of these live streams. I can't remember. Oh, this is the Weller. Yeah, okay. All right, let me get to this blind. Let's see. Let's check out the nose. It looks proofy because it's big bubbles and they stay around for a while. But let's see the nose. Doesn't smell very proofy. I'm getting like nothing. Wow, if there was a question on the nose, I would just absolutely fail it right now. I couldn't tell you anything about this. Very nondescript bourbonish kind of flavor profile. If I had to guess on the nose, I would say it's a bourbon. Okay, I get a faint. I'm almost getting a little bit of peanut. So now I'm thinking a Jim Beam product. It's very subtle, man. The nose is really, it's really mellow. It might just be because I'm coming off of like the Weller 107 and the Larceny Barrel Proof, but certainly doesn't taste. It doesn't smell proofy, but that can be deceiving. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go for a sip. Does he ask other questions on the nose? He asked mash bill. So I would guess a bourbon mash bill. Corn, rye, secondary rye for sure. Maybe not for sure. But that would be my guess, standard bourbon mash bill. I think this box had just any American whiskey, so this could be some other kind of American whiskey. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not getting a lot on the nose. Let's see how the palate is. Okay. Kind of tastes like it could be a rye. A lot of rye spice coming through. A little bit of that peanut thing coming through. Decent amount of rye spice. Yeah, I can taste a little more proof now. I could say, okay, off my first sip, I'd say it's around 100 proof. That's a guess. It's fine. Let me give it another sip. You know, the hardest thing though with the Matt Madness is you only have 30 seconds. So I should be trying to do this quickly, but I find more and more that I'm better off when I go with my gut instinct. So if I had to guess right now, I'd say Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. But I feel like that's always my go-to guess when it's something I'm not sure about. Yeah, there's something Evan Williams here, but I often can kind of some reason for me Evan Williams and Jim Beam. I can conflate the two in my head when I taste things. This might be a little bit lower than 100 proof. The bubbles tell me that I'm right with 100 proof, but on the palate, it's not registering for me. This is not ringing bells, and I think it could be that my palate's blown out from the 122 proof Larceny, and that I've just had too many things tonight. And my nose is like whistling. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe my sinuses are bothering me as well. So, yeah, perfect situation to be trying to guess whiskey blind. It might be a charcoal filtered. I don't know. There's a lot of rye spice coming through. What the heck is this? I don't think it's wild turkey. I'm really feeling Evan Williams Heaven Hill for some reason. Then I'm kind of in the back of my head thinking like a Jim Beam bonded maybe. Maybe even Old Granddad with the higher rye. Whew. I haven't had that in a long time. Got a bottle of it over there. Yeah, that's where my head is. If I was on Matt Madness right now and I have my 30 seconds, I'll take my sip. I would say it's a bourbon. I would say it's aged less than 7 years, if I had to guess. And I would guess, I want to say 95 proof-ish, around there, I'd say. Could be 100, and just drinking a little below proof because I had 122 proof right before this, so maybe it is 100. And I would say I'm going to go with Old Granddad 100. OGD Bottle and Bond. So I guess I do think it's 100 proof. I can almost guarantee you I'm wrong about this. Let's see what it is. Oh, man. Was on the right track when I was saying Heaven Hill. It's Elijah Craig small batch, 94 proof. So my original guess at 95 proof was almost on the money. Okay, so on Matt Madness, I guessed bourbon. My initial guess was 95 proof, and I probably would have gone with my gut on that. But OGD, definitely wrong. Wow, how did I screw that one up? But hey, you know what? I would have gotten a couple of points. And that's all that matters, right? Okay, should I do another one of these? I got one more to do, or should I call it a night? I don't know. You guys tell me. Tell me. I'm going to go back through. I'm going to check the chat first, and I'm going to go back through everything I've already tried up to this point. And I will clean this glass out so I can do one more of these. And I just spilled water all over the floor in the process. Quality television right here, guys. Quality. That's what I go for. All right. I feel okay about that. All right, let's see what the chat's saying here. Okay, tried a sample of the Bowmore AM edition at Heathrow in December, but was there at 9 a.m. and nobody was. Oh, tried to get a sample. Sorry, I can't. Oh my God, I can't read. What's going on? I tried to get a sample of the Bowmore AM edition at Heathrow in December, but I was there at 9 a.m. and nobody was manning the booth. Okay, that sucks. So it is in duty free then, it sounds like. I do think I remember seeing that somewhere. Josh says, looks like Dylan found the seagrass jackpot today. According to his Instagram, he secretly bought 5, didn't he? Yeah. every time Dylan says something like, "Oh, Dutch and Jules love this," when he's trying to like make fun of us, it's what we call in the biz. It's called projecting. He really is projecting his own feelings on us. He loves seagrass, man. Don't let him tell you anything otherwise. But I will 100% back up Dr. Dylan, PhD, for his seagrass blend. Legitimately, I could have gone either way on that. It was ridiculously close. Okay, catching up here. Where am I here? Roy was saying Whistle Pig. No, it definitely wasn't. I know that Whistle Pig ride bite, and it wasn't that. Andrew says, have you guys done a Teeling drink through? And if not, could you guys, the 4 main bottles? We have not. We have not done a Teeling. I was at a whiskey event, and I tried 3 of the main lineup, I think. I think it was Teeling. Am I losing my mind? Yeah, I think it was Teeling, yeah. And it would make for an interesting drink through, for sure. Good stuff. Siyama says, also, Dutch, we also know your nose works better when you spill half the bottle while pouring. Yeah. If I get it all over the counter in front of me, I can get the aroma much better. I was surprised. You guys want to know how much I was actually thinking ahead for Matt Madness? I actually stopped taking. I usually take like a nasal allergy spray, and I switched to taking like the Zyrtec pill instead of the nasal spray, because I know it kind of messes my nose up a little bit, like my ability to smell just a tiny bit. That's dedication to the cause there. All right, are Dylan and Jules going to give Matt Madness a shot? No, we only got 1 spot, and Matt basically contacted us and said, look, you guys got 1 spot. And the way he did it with channels that have multiple people was, if the wheel landed on you once, you could put 1 person. If it landed on you again, you could put so on and so forth. Wheel only landed on our channel once, so we had to put 1 person up, and the guys told me to do it, so I did it. Roy says, special bottle time. Let's vote. Oh, you guys want to vote on something? Well, we could do this. We could either do another fresh crack. I've got some stuff over there, and I'll just grab something that's unopened. Or I've got 1 more sample bottle, and I can do another blind. So you guys tell me in the chat which one I should do. I'm going to go back through everything I've tried up to this point, but you guys post some comments. Let me know what you'd rather I do. I don't know what I even have that's unopened right now. So it would just have to be dealer's choice. I can't even see because this light is so damn bright in front of my face. So I'll probably just do the sample, but if you guys really want to see me crack into something else, just let me know. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to go back to the Shin. First thing I cracked into. This is 10-year-old Mizunara finished Japanese whiskey, non-chill filtered, 48% alcohol. On the initial taste, it was pure pepper to me. Let's see. It's been sitting out for an hour. Let's see how it is. Oh, the nose is much better, actually. It really smells like a Speyside Scotch to me. Okay, let's see if I'm still getting pure pepper on the palate. A lot of pepper still, but it's a little more of that sweetness coming through. It's a little bit better balanced. Still pepper heavy, but it's not blowing out everything again like it was. So, would I pay $100 for this? Probably not. I think I would probably go for, it's $100. I think I'd go for I'd pay $20 more to get the Yamazaki or the Hakushu. I like the Hakushu a lot personally. So, and this is the Yamazaki 12 that I poured when I was comparing the two. Oh wow, everything's better in it. There's not that pepper. I mean, it's kind of like you just dumped a bunch of black pepper on some whiskey, and so you can taste all of the stuff underneath it, like the good Scotch underneath it, Scotch flavors, Speyside-ish. But it's not really adding anything to them. Yeah, I would prefer to sip on the Yamazaki 12 personally between the Shin and the Yamazaki. But if you really like peppery things, and maybe if you're eating a meal, a heavily spiced meal, I think the Shin actually could stand up to a meal much better than other Japanese whiskeys that I've had. It would definitely stand up to it better than the Yamazaki. Um, the Yamazaki's got, I think, a lot of delicate flavors in it. The Shin, with that black pepper, I mean, it can stand up to things. So that would be a consideration. So, all right, going back to the Chivas 25. What a beautiful, beautiful bottle this one was. Look at that. The thing that kind of annoys me about it, though, on the back, this sticker, you can see it. It's coming off right there. And it was like that when I got it. It just doesn't not fully sticky. I mean, come on, you're paying $400 for a bottle and they can't get the sticker to stay on. I know it's minor, but you just kind of expect things like that not to happen with a very expensive bottle. So, okay, back into the Chivas. It's had some time to sit. Yeah, the nose is still pretty gentle, mellow. It's not really doing much for me on the nose. It's certainly not bad. Everything there is good. It's just kind of muted, and that could be coming off of the Shin and the Yamazaki. But it's very mellow on the nose. Let's see how if the palate's changed at all. Yeah, finish is much better. It still has that thing where it just kind of coats my entire palate and washes over with a good barley grain hit, good sweetness from that. If you've had like a non-sherry finished Scotch, the Cadwell Estate Glenmorangie comes to mind. That kind of wash of sweet grain flavors, not as sweet as that. It has a little. I think it has a little bit of sherry in it. It's a beautiful flavor. I don't know that it's $300 good though. It'd be hard to tell. And part of the problem with things like this that have kind of more delicate flavor profiles is that what you have before it, like a really spicy Japanese whiskey, it's going to mess up my ability to taste this properly. And I also don't think it would do particularly well in a blind. It's got a little bit of a spice hit right at the beginning of the palate. I mean, I would love to keep sipping on this. Don't get me wrong, super drinkable, very enjoyable flavor profile. Where would it rate on our scoring system? That's tough. I'd have to spend a little more time with it. It would probably be, I'm guessing, like a low gold, high silver in that range for me. There's nothing like, I'm not sipping it and being like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever had. But it's good. Definitely good. All right, on to the the Larceny. All right, the Larceny was the last fresh crack. And this is the C921, 122.6 on the proof there, 61.3%. Very enjoyable pour. I compared it side by side to the Weller 107. And overall, the thought was that there we go. What was up with the focus? Overall, I thought the Weller just kind of got blown out. So actually, I'm going to taste the Weller first before I go back to the other. Yeah, tastes like Weller. Cinnamon, caramel, really delicious. Larceny. Wow, there's that earthiness and a little bit more spice, and just everything's cranked up a little bit louder. And I think it's mostly the proof. If I think if I watered the Larceny down, I would and did them side by side, I think I'd prefer the Weller. But at the proof point, this really kicks, man. It's good. Really tasty stuff. Okay. I am ready for the final pour of the night, guys. What's it going to be? I got to go back through the chat and see, right? Okay. So we've got some votes here for the unopened, the votes for the... I'm really leaning, honestly, guys. I'm leaning to doing the blind because I need to practice. But I understand that it may not be as interesting. So let me catch up here. I scrolled to the wrong place here. Cohen says, KL got OGD 114 today for $29.99. I ordered one because I need one. But yes, it did. And it had, I think, Knob Creek 15 as well at 119. And Hagushu 12 also at MSRP. So they got some good stuff in today. Drew says, do one more blind. I'm leaning towards that, Drew. Believe me. Drew also says, what's the story with the old school phone in the background? That guy. This is... Yeah. That's a real old school phone. What's the story with it? It was in my garage when I moved into my house. And that's really the only thing to it. I pulled it off the wall and thought, hey, that'd be kind of cool in the background. So I stuck it over there. Yeah, no story beyond that. I should come up with one. We should make it ring or do something with it. All right, so Roy says do the unopened. Brian says do the blind. Kyle says fresh crack. That's where Hanzo says fresh crack. Mitchell, sorry, I don't know if you go by Mitch or not. I don't know. I keep saying Mitch. And that's probably not the right thing to do. Any exciting drink throughs left to do? Do you guys have covered a lot of ground? We got a lot planned. I'm actually editing one right now. It's probably going to be the next video. And if you've watched for an hour and 40 minutes, you guys get to know what the next video is going to be, which is going to be our drink through of 4 Roses. Yeah, we did all 10 recipes. We did it a while ago. It's just taking me some time to get to the edit. I actually freaked out yesterday when I started on it because it ended up getting saved as 3 different files because of various issues with, cameras. A lot of cameras can only record for a total of 30 minutes before they shut off for video. So if we are recording something really long, we have to, stop and then restart. And so there were 3 files for this recording, and I thought I had lost the first 30 minutes from our main camera. Like I had the video from the side cameras, and I spent about 15 minutes just freaking out. Luckily, I backed it up somewhere else, and I had it. So it almost wasn't going to be the 4 Roses drink through, but that will be the next one. Yeah, all 10 of the barrel proof recipes from various places. And we just drank through them all. And I think we did a blind at the end. I haven't finished editing it yet, but hopefully we'll be able to finish that over the weekend and get that out next week. And then as far as other drink throughs we've filmed, I don't know if we have any others in the can, but we have a bunch more in the works. We're still trying to gather some bottles for an Ardbeg one. We have a little mini drink through we did of some Macallan. It's just a drink through of the Macallan 12 years that we're going to do. And I think that's it. There might be another one we've done that I'm forgetting, but we have some others in the works. Like I said, the Ardbeg, we have a Remus one that we're going to do, the Remus Repeal. We finally got all 5. So we finally got a batch 1. So we'll do that Remus one, eventually. I don't know when we'll get to it. And then, a handful of other reviews in the can. We filmed a bunch of stuff on location in Vegas this past week. I'm still editing video from our original Vegas trip where we did the $50 challenge and the going along the strip and getting free whiskey challenge. There's still video from the old one that I'm finishing up. I hopefully that will probably be in 2 weeks. So yeah, a lot of stuff in the works. Always working on it. Okay, Whiskey Nose. Cheers. What is up? Thanks for coming by. We had some comments here about the Taketsuru Pure Malt. It was on the white label for $59.99. I would get it for that price. Yeah, I only bought it because of the price. I would pass at $80. Yeah, I did do the side by side between the white label and the black label. Yeah, they're a little different. I think I had trouble picking a favorite, but a slight preference to the old one. But I enjoy that whiskey personally, so I think at $60 it's a good price. $80 is a little bit steep. I agree. Yeah, Jason says the Hakushu 12 MSRP is always, but I agree. That's my favorite between that and the Yamazaki personally, and it's one I always like to have a backup of. And I actually have, I think, 2 backups of it, but I pulled the trigger on another one because I really enjoy drinking that. All right, Troy, sorry, picked up the Heaven Hill Heritage 17 yesterday at MSRP. Immediately stuck that into the vault to hold until a special occasion. That sounds really cool. Okay. Yes, 4 Roses full is crazy. How do you guys do this in 6 saves? By the end of that one, I haven't gotten to the end of the edit. I'm about like 3/4 of the way through, and we're doing pretty well. We just had our head in the game, man. That's all. Jeff Perkins says the drink throughs are great. Yeah, we love doing the drink throughs, and beyond everything, we get probably the most comments on our drink throughs and the most requests for drink throughs. I wish they were easier to do because it just takes us time to gather all the bottles, and it's quite an endeavor to do the drink through usually, because if we get together and film and we film one drink through, there's not a lot else we can film that day. Like we can do maybe a couple other reviews and things like that, but yeah, they take a lot out of us. So I wish they were easier to do, and the editing also takes a long time, but they're super fun. It's really fun to go through an entire brand's catalog, or at least a good section of it in one go, because you start to kind of be able to peel back the layers and really understand what the expression is all about. So it's a super fun thing to do. Siyama says, same on the Haku 12, have 2 backups, but with MSRP close to 50 starting to be hard to justify. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I'd go above 120. I had 2 backups, and I was like, it came up at 119. I was like, okay, I can get another backup at that price. Okay, so the votes were pretty close. I think Roy said it's a call for the new crack, but you know what, guys? It was close enough that I'm just gonna go with my other blind here because I need to practice, guys. I don't know when the Matt Madness next round is gonna be. So even if it makes for worse TV, we're doing the blind. All right, grabbing it out of the box here, or out of the bag. Get rid of that. All right, it's in my hand here. Going to open it and pour it. The thing is, I don't want to see it. I need to challenge myself here. Let's see. Oh, this looks a little lighter. Okay, that's done. Cap it off and throw it in the box. Okay. A little bit of water to freshen up my palate here. And let's see how I do on this one. So just on the color, look at that. A bit lighter. With the studio lights and the color correction and whatnot on the camera, it looks lighter to me than it's looking in the camera. I'm going to agitate it and see some bubbles here. Some bubbles. Not huge, and they didn't stick around super long. But it is kind of coating the glass a little bit better than the last one. Yeah, Roy says low proof. I'm guessing. Okay, it's okay. I get a vote too, all right? I get the executive decision, right? Believe in Peace says, Even in Japan, Haku 12 and Yama 12 are getting more expensive, less available. They have distillers reserve of the non-age dated everywhere. Interesting. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I do enjoy those bottles a lot. Um, and I think I kind of feel like they hit their max, man. I would have a real hard time going above where it is now. You're at 10 years, sorry, $10 per year. If you think about the price of a 12 year, right? You say $10 per year. And usually people say that for a cask strength, and these are not cask strength, but they are imports. So I will give it the benefit of the doubt and say I don't know, man. I'd have a really tough time paying more than that. They are good bottles, but yeah, Blues and Peace said, that's what I say. Like, this is the time to stock up. If you guys see it and you like that might be true. But at the same time, I kind of wonder, are the Japanese distilleries over the past few years, have they done enough of the non-age stated stuff where they've got enough barrels maturing where they can start cranking this stuff out? Because I mean that seems to be the inevitability with a lot of this scarce stuff. I think we're probably only a couple years away from Weller being much more available. We're already seeing it with E.H. Taylor being much more available now. It seems to be dropping everywhere here. So, yeah, we'll see. But, I don't think the price is going to go down, so I don't think there's a lot of harm in stocking up now. Jack. What's up, Jack? I'm from the UK and Liverpool and love your channel. What's the best whiskey you ever tasted? That is a very difficult question to answer because my answer would be different on different days depending on what my mood is. But on our spirits competition where we rate whiskeys, our highest rated whiskey that we've reviewed has been the Dewar's 32-year-old. It's just exquisite. It's fantastic. It's our highest rated thing. Is it the best whiskey I've ever tasted? Probably. It's the best Scotch I've ever tasted, I would say. But I like a lot of different things, so I hate getting that question. But thank you for asking it because I have a lot of different answers for it, and depending on my mood, it can change quite a bit. So, Jason says maybe California just got all the E.H. Taylor allocation. Haven't seen a single bottle of it here in 2+ years. Wow. Yeah, I mean it would pop up here periodically, but I've just been seeing stuff just from Instagram stuff in California that's out there of it just hitting everywhere. It's hitting grocery stores out here. Same. I mean, Eagle Rare has been very accessible on the West Coast for a long time, and regular Buffalo Trace. And I know there are parts of the country where both of those bottles are very hard to come by. It's just that weird allocation game that Buffalo Trace seems to be playing, and it's frustrating. But if you believe what they're saying about laying down barrels, I mean, they started their expansion stuff more like 7 years ago. So we should be seeing a lot of these products being more available. They should have the volume, but we'll see. Roy says Dewar's 32 versus Hibiki 21, Signet to decide. I think you had a comment about the Glenmorangie, right? The Glenmorangie versus the Hibiki. I think that would be a better comparison, honestly. The flavor profile is more similar. The Dewar's has a different flavor profile to the Hibiki and the Signet. I think the Dewar's and the Signet could work. The Signet just has such a distinct, like, coffee chocolate thing going on that I think all three of them would be very distinctly different. And quite frankly, I think the Hibiki would be overshadowed. I think it would be blown out by the boldness of the flavors in the other two. That's just a guess, though. I'd have to do it to know, right? Jason, yeah, great point. Great point. Heavy allocation is serving them well as marketing, for sure. I mean, it is, but I feel like they've already got something in the pipeline that's going to be next. So it's like, all right, if Weller 107 gets everywhere, then it's just going to be the Weller Full Proof or whatever the next, weeder that they put out is going to be. They're just, I don't know, they're good at playing the game, and we're all suckers for it. It sucks. Okay, time to taste this blind. Not this. I know what that is. That's water. Here's the thing I poured. Give it another swirl. Give it a look. It's pretty light in color. It's coating the glass okay. This glass looks dirty. That's not a good sign. See how the nose is. Okay, this is finished or it's not a bourbon. There's something really sweet on it. I hate to say it. Kind of smells like seagrass. This is something finished. There's another flavor here. It's almost like an orange. Okay, now my palate feels blown out. So I think it's a rye. I do think it might be a rye because ryes tend to do that to me. I think this is a finished rye. It smells proofy. We did the little bubble test. Let me do it again. And agitate it like crazy. Hopefully not spill any out. And see the bubbles here. Small, and they're gone. So not a ton of proof. That would be a point against seagrass. Wow. If I had to guess the finish, I'm really getting orange. I'd say like a curacao finish. That's a bold guess, and it's probably wrong. But if I was playing the Matt Madness game right now, that's probably what my guess would be if you asked me on the nose what the finish is. If it's finished, I would say yes, and what the finish is, I would say curacao. Orange curacao. Wow, I can't get that out of my head now. Okay, if I had to guess on the nose what the mash bill is, I do think it is a rye mash bill on the nose. Let's see how we do here. Get into the palate. Yeah, Brian says Parker. That's actually, I thought of that, but it smells too much like a rye to me. I think I'm leaning on the nose. I'm thinking it's a High West, one of their finished double oak ryes or double rye, high rye, double rye. What do they call them? I can't remember what High West calls those things, but that's what I'm leaning towards. It's just a question of what kind of finish it is. Taste. I'm sticking with finished rye. It tastes proofier than it smells. God. It's not quite as sweet as seagrass. It still kind of tastes like seagrass to me. Problem is, everything that's got a finish that's sweet now, I think is sweet. I think it's seagrass. It's happened to me on Matt Madness, and when I eventually went back to it, I was like, no, it's definitely not. But in the moment, it kind of played tricks on my brain. I have no. I do think it's a finished rye. I think everything I said on the nose stands. I think it's a finished rye. It really tastes like curacao to me. Yeah, double rye. Yeah, High West double, a barrel pick High West double rye finished in something. I mean, if this isn't finished, then yeah, I don't know. Screwball creamsicle. It's definitely not peanut. Wow. Yeah, it's some kind of a finished rye. So if I was playing the game, which I'm not right now, I would say the proof point. Gosh, what are those High West proof points? If it's a barrel pick, it can be anything, right? Shoot, I actually don't know what the proof is on this. It's around 95 to 105, I would say. But the finish could be throwing me off. It's pretty punchy. I'm going to write down 100 on the proof. And I'm going to say it's a High West double rye. And I'm going to say the finish, if I had to guess the finish. The only thing I can come up with is an orange curacao. I just get orange. Could it be another fruit masquerading as an orange in my palate? Let's see. Yeah, it could be. Could be a brandy. Could be a brandy of another kind of brandy or something. But it's just enough of that little bit of a bitter rind kind of thing coming through that. Okay, I'm going to stick with it, guys. Let's see how bad I did. I don't want to see this one. The last one, I felt like I knew a lot more of it for sure. This one, I just don't know. It is. It's not finished. It might be finished. I don't know this. I've never had this before. It is the James E. Pepper 1776 Straight Rye Whiskey. I don't know the proof. Oh, it's lower. It is 46%, so it is 92. So I was way off. I did get it that it was a rye, so I feel okay about that. James E. Pepper 1776 Straight Rye. I'm gonna Google that right now because I just want to know what it is. 1776 rye. Is it finished? It says it's 100 proof everywhere I'm looking here. So I wonder if that's right. It does. Funny. I pulled up the. Let's see. Total Wine says that it has an orange spice cake finish. Interesting. I want to learn more about this. I got to look some stuff up about it. 1776 straight rye. It does say it's 100 proof. I don't know. Why does this say that it's 46? That doesn't make any sense to me. Huh. Well, it's not finished, so I definitely got that wrong. And the bubble test seemed to work okay. Yeah, so this is the only rye they have, and it's 100 proof. So that's really weird. So I might have gotten the proof right. This bottle might have been printed wrong because it does say right there 46%, but they very well could have gotten this wrong because everything I'm seeing on their website says that their rye is 100 proof. And it's not finished, so got that wrong. Wow, such a strong orange flavor on that. Interesting how rye can kind of do that. But hey, you know what? I still would have gotten some points, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to catch up on the chat here and then say goodnight to all of you wonderful people hanging out here. All right, we've got... let's see where. Okay, Daniel's got a question for the community here. Should I buy Angel's Envy Rye or Seagrass Cask Strength? Daniel, you might need to watch our videos from our Seagrass week. We happen to be bigger fans of the Angel's Envy Rye, personally. If you get that, I'd say around MSRP. I think it's a very nice special occasion rye. Definitely not for everybody. If you like cinnamon, to me, it's the ultimate Christmas rye. It just everything about the flavor profile, the spices, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, all these wonderful spices come through and they're balanced really well with the rye. The Seagrass Cask Strength, are you talking about the 16-year or the regular Seagrass? If you're talking about the regular Seagrass, my personal take, I prefer the Angel's Envy Rye. If you're talking about the 16-year, the 16-year is quite tasty. And you know, if you have the expendable income, it's a fun one to try. But yeah, Angel's Envy Rye is, if you want a sweet rye that's got a ton of flavor and is just an experience, but not an everyday rye, then yeah, it's fantastic for that. Royanne, yes, Angel's Envy Rye tastes more refined and like gingerbread. Yeah, gingerbread, it's just fantastic. Yeah, bubble test worked. Low proof. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Roy. I was wondering if there was an export version of it that is at a lower proof. It really tastes higher than that to me. So I'm wondering if it's just a misprint. Could this be a 92 proof? I don't know. Man, there's so much orange on this. I can't get over that. That really would mess with me. That's a if Matt ever watches this live, James E. Pepper Rye is one to throw into your blind man because that is a confusing rye. All right, Brian Egan is seeing 92 proof in 2019 and before. Okay, so it could be the older bottling. Yeah, ryes can taste overproof sometimes. I will not. I'll not say that I'm super confident. It tastes punchy. I mean, it might be the spice, the rye spice coming through that I'm getting, but yeah, interesting. Very interesting one. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad all of you guys hung out. I'm glad that this live stream is hopefully been interesting to you guys. We went through a lot of bottles here. We started things off with the Shin, which was quite interesting. It's a black pepper bomb. If you ever want to try a whiskey that tastes like black pepper, try that one. We moved on to a wonderful dram from Chivas, 25-year-old Scotch. We kind of closed things out, not really closed things out, with the Larceny C921, which was a lot of fun to drink. Compared that to the Weller 107. The Chivas, I got to show you guys this box one more time because the box it comes in, just fantastic. It's got the little push button here to open it up. And then need two hands. Little booklet here hiding over there. Look at that velvet. Amazing. And it came with, it came in this giant white box that you're not supposed to show. I don't know why. But yeah. And fun time here, guys. Hopefully we'll get another live next week sometime, or maybe in 2 weeks. I'm going to try to get Jules over here for one of these soon. Maybe Dylan as well. Who knows? But really appreciated hanging out with all you guys and all of you that shared what you guys are sipping on. Asked some wonderful questions. Helped me out with my blind tastings. Gave me some excellent information on the bubble test, which I'm going to be using next time I am on Matt Madness. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Stay curious.